Hello, beautiful family. How are you doing today? I hope you are keeping safe and you are fine. This is Jero and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you have subscribed, thank you very much. So today I'm here to bring you a story of a nun who came all the way from Ireland to come to Africa, and she is, I must say, she's so compassionate, she's so passionate, she has so much love to give, and the list is endless. So I do not want to tell the story for her. She'll be here telling us her story. What we need is your eyes and your ears. Welcome.
My name is Sister Patricia Spade. I'm a Franciscan missionary sister for Africa, and I'm from Ireland. I came to Africa. My first missionary journey was to Zimbabwe, where I was missioned to a mission hospital at Regina Coeli Mission. I spent 7 years there in Zimbabwe, and during those 7 years I nursed in the hospital as a state-registered nurse and a state-registered midwife. Following the 7 years, HIV and AIDS broke out in a very, very big way, and people needed to be cared for in their own homes. So our congregational leader at that time asked me would I come out of the hospital and start a community home-based care program. This I did with the help of volunteers. So I was there for 3 years on the community home-based care program, and then I was asked to come to Nakuru in Kenya and to find out what the needs were. One day I met a lady called Genevieve O'Lowe, and Genevieve, we got in touch with each other through another sister, and Genevieve showed me around all the places in Nakuru, and especially all of those places that were very poor and marginalised. We looked to see what the biggest need was, and the biggest need was that people wanted a community home-based care program set up for people suffering from HIV and AIDS. So we started the program in 1997. Before that, we had the 6 months needs assessment. So we started at Akima, where Daniel Comboni's church is built today. So I went to Bishop Cairo, and Bishop Cairo gave us his blessing, and he said you can use it to begin your program. So I always wanted to keep things small, but at the same time we know things grow, that's because it's the need. So I now needed to see, well, what are we going to call this program? So I used to would call on God every day, please give me a name. What do you think we should call this program? So I'd really be reflecting on it a lot. So one day when I was in our own chapel in our own convent, two words came, love and hope, because I felt this was God calling me now to give love and action and hope to the people that he had called me to serve in Nakuru. So up until today, 2021, we have called our program Love and Hope. In 2001, this lady in Ireland got in touch with me. I didn't know her at the time, Mary Donoghue, and she wanted to come out and see what we were doing because she had heard about it in Ireland. So when she came out, she was very touched by what she was seeing in the community. At that time, full-blown AIDS was very, very, very high. And this particular home we went into one day, the mother was lying in the bed, the father was blind, the husband was blind, and he was carrying his 6-month-old baby. So the father of the child said, everybody tells me that, say, Jane is beautiful, but I can't see her because I'm blind. This really drew tears to our eyes, because we could see that this poor husband was trying to help his wife, who was in the bed very, very sick, and he was also trying to care for his 6-month-old daughter. So during that time, I was putting up the intravenous infusion, and Mary was very, very touched because she looked around and all she could see was me trying to put the intravenous infusion, put it up on the wall on a nail. So after leaving the house that day, Mary said to me, you know, you people need a better place to serve the people. I'm going to go back to Ireland and see if I can raise funds. So a number of years later, Mary was able to raise the funds, and I was asked then to look for land, which wasn't easy because I was let down in a number of places, but thank God I managed to get land here. Thank God the title deeds were clean and everything was fine. So we opened up our land in our building on 6th of October 2017. We have many programs here, but I concentrate on the home-based care. We have come a long way from HIV and AIDS, although it is still with us. Today, many people are suffering from cancer, and many people also as a result of COVID-19 and many other conditions. So maybe I'll just share one of the stories, a very recent one. 3 weeks ago, we have been journeying with this young lady who has cancer. She had cancer of the jaw in 2015. So 2015 she came with her mother into Love and Hope, and at that time the mouth was just fallen. She had no muscles left in her face. The mouth had fallen. And when I looked at her mouth, I could see many big blisters. Her mouth was in an awful state. So I felt the need to take her to a hospital where she could meet with a doctor so that tests could start. So this young lady, after many tests, was diagnosed with mandibular cancer, and that's cancer of the jaw. She had to go through a lot of surgery, and one of the big things we were asked to get was a mandibular jaw. So this mandibular jaw cost over 80,000. It was not easy to get that jaw, but we managed to get it in Nairobi. Winifred went through the surgery and everything seemed to be going well. But within a few months, everything rejected and she was back to square one. So she had to have the whole mandibular jaw taken out, and it was not being able to be put back in again or a new one replaced because her body had totally rejected it. So then we felt the need to journey with that young girl through all the different chemotherapies that were required. So she had to have 6 chemotherapies. Many things happened because of her sickness. So we felt, let us see how this young lady we can help her. So we offered her here, would she like even to take a little job in the kitchen so that she could even do a little bit of washing and cleaning. She would come here every day and she would be cared for and she'd feel cared for and she'd feel loved because there was a lot of things happening at home. So she was very, very happy to take that up. But just recently she got very sick. In the last month she got very sick. And she had gone to a particular hospital to have the COVID-19 test done because I had asked her to please have the COVID-19 test done. So 5 times in a row, for Monday to Friday, she went to the hospital and the hospital did not have the kits to do the test. So on this particular day, I said, all right, I knew she was very sick and I felt that this girl had COVID-19. So I took her to Mercy Mission and she was diagnosed COVID-19 together with pneumonia. I looked after her in her own home. She was living on her own. And I really wanted to make sure that the treatment that was ordered for her, that she was taking it every day. Also, we cooked for her and we brought the food to her home so that she would be able to eat it. And this food needed to be very soft food so that she'd be able to swallow. So as time went on, last week, the week before, I could see she's not making any recovery at all. So I decided, gosh, let me see if I can take her back to Bundini isolation unit and meet with the doctor and see what is wrong. So the clinical practitioner then put her on another set of treatment. So she was put on another set of treatment. So last week I was back again and I could see again she was not making any improvement. Now at this stage she was swollen all over. Her whole body was swollen, her legs, every part of the body. I took her back to the hospital and she was admitted. Another hospital and she was admitted. So she was diagnosed with acute renal failure. Following that, she was discharged on the Friday, just last Friday, and I couldn't understand why she was discharged. So I followed it up with the doctor at the hospital. The same time last Sunday, I took her to Mercy Mission Hospital. She was diagnosed with many things, many other conditions, a lot of organ failure. So today now we've had to have her admitted. So she's been admitted in another hospital in Nakuru, and it looks very, very much as if this is all due to COVID-19. But I just want to say it's not whatever I'm doing with the sick, the very, very poor and marginalised who are suffering at grassroots level. I am motivated by my missionary calling as a Franciscan missionary sister for Africa to go out and help the poorest of the poor. And I know I will go the last mile to help that person. I actually feel that when I know when I am, whatever I am doing it for God. And it is God that has called me. It is God that is in that person. It is the suffering Christ who I am reaching out to. And I am so motivated. And I will never, never give up. Even though at times maybe I feel mentally exhausted, overwhelmed. Maybe my brain sort of feels as if I can't even go on anymore. But I get that motivation to get up in the morning, to give myself to God in prayer. It means even rising at 4:30, to give myself to God in prayer, to have our morning prayer together with the other sisters, to go for Mass, and then to go out on my ministry. So unless I was driven by God, I will never be able to do this. And God has journeyed with me since He called me to religious life in 1976, I think, 1976. So I feel I have great joy to go out and serve the people, and I go out with I'm motivated. I go out with full joy to be able to enter into the life of that person, to bring that love, to give them that love in action, to do the little things for them, no matter what's needed to be done in that home. Whether it's washing the person, cleaning the person's home, I will do it. I will do it because I am serving the suffering Christ. I am serving God who has suffered for each one of us. Last Sunday was a big challenge for me because I saw this young lady that had been journeying with, and she was in a really very, very bad way. She's sent home from the hospital, but she's sent home on a Saturday, and then when I'm going to see her, and when I get the call from the mother on Sunday, I'm saying now, like, what am I to do, you know? And I knew that she needed then to have many tests done. She maybe even needed to go into a private hospital, which was going to be very, very expensive. And I actually was going to see, at that very instant, I was going to say, let me put this into a group and see if somebody can really help me. It was a very, very big challenge to try to get the money that was required. Like, it cost 25,000 to have scans done. Now, the lady brought it down by 2,000, so it was 23. It cost another 5,000 for blood tests and another 5,000 for another set of blood tests. So it was very, very expensive. So that's one of the challenges. You know, you want to be able to help, but it all costs money. So me as a missionary sister, you know, we as sisters, we don't keep our own money. We don't have our own money. So we depend on other people to be able to help us to help the people. So there is a very, very big challenge in itself. Also, another big challenge, even though I'm a number of years in Africa, I probably will never get used to it. Like, I find it a very, very big challenge. Like when I go into the home of somebody, a very sick person, whom actually one sick, we have a very sick person at the moment, and you go in and you see that person who who has been in the bed for 15 years, 15. And the mother is very, very sick. She's not able to care for her own son. The daughter is 20 years old. She's trying to go out and look for a job, but she comes back because she's not able to get one. If she gets anything at all, she's able to get a job for a day, maybe a few hours in a day, washing clothes. She has to try to look after her brother, and actually she sheds tears because she said, I can't do it. I can't do it. So myself and people from Love and Hope, we go into that home. We look after the person lying in the bed. And I know the big challenge I had, and I will always have it. This particular bed had white ants all over it, you know. So you're trying to clean the mattress first before you wash the person. But on the person's skin, maybe there's a lot of little bumps and lumps. So you wash, and then the white ants jump out. And I'm not that I'm petrified, but it's just like, it's a funny feeling that goes through you. Then I say, no, Patricia, just continue, because, you know, this is God that's suffering in this poor person. He wouldn't want to be like this, but circumstances has driven him to be like this. So just reach out and help, say, Mary in the bed, just help her. So after doing that, you know, I feel very connected with that person. I feel very connected with God, and that God is really gives me that courage. He gives me that strength. He gives me that motivation. Continue. And then it's beautiful to see when you have washed that person, you get a wheelchair, you put the person in the sun, and the person will tell you, this is the first time I've been out of the house. Take me out more often. So it's a challenge to begin with, but you work through your challenges, and then there comes joy and the beauty of seeing somebody now with great hope ahead of themselves saying, take me out every day so that I can wave to my friends. And this is what they say. This particular person has said this, take me out so that I can wave to my friends. And this very, very person says, you know, I am very happy. I am very happy. Now, this person is lying in the bed 15 years, but going into the home that day has given this young man joy and hope, and he's felt loved, and he's felt cared for, and he wants to live another day. So I have many challenges like that, but with the grace of God, I'm able to continue. The money that comes in is not enough to carry out all the needs that the people are going through. And the biggest bills now are the bills of cancer. Many people now in Nakuru are suffering from cancer. They come to us begging and with tears dropping down their cheeks. We go to their homes. We see the situations that they're living in. We can see that there's no way that person can even pay anything, although we try to see what they can also help us to be able to help themselves, so that because Love and Hope can't give to everybody. So we are trying our best. At the same time, I also write stories, and I write stories and I send them to my friends back home, and I try to see if that person will be touched by the story, so that person can help me to be able to help the people. I'm pleased from the bottom of my heart. I ask you, please, please help me, or help us at Love and Hope Centre to be able to reach out to more people. Because the money that we get, actually we don't get money for medical needs. So we depend on the generosity of people to be able to help us, to be able to help the suffering. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, please help us to be able to help the people. You know, you may not be able to come to Africa yourself, or even those of you who are in Africa, you may not feel that you're able to do this type of ministry. But please, you're doing the ministry if you're going to be able to help us to be able to help the people.